Shrimp taco night. Let me try my hair. Hello everyone, welcome back to the kitchen. My name is Francisco. Tonight I am very excited because we are having shrimp taco night. Shrimp taco night is one of my favorite things in the world. It's one of my favorite things to serve for dinner. It is special, but it's also low-key. It is casual, but it also feels put together and intentional. I think that shrimp tacos are the answer to what should I cook for that someone that I've been dating for like 2 or 3 dates. This person is coming to my apartment for the first time and I'm gonna cook for them, and what do I do? Like, you wanna definitely cook something for them that feels nice and fun and sexy and flirty, but not something that is super complicated. You don't want it to feel like performative or like you're like trying to replicate some sort of restaurant experience in your house, because let's face it, you're not gonna be able to. You're not gonna serve the rack of lamb with the, I don't know who's doing that. I always think of that scene in How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days where Matthew McConaughey serves that like beautiful rack of lamb. Someone did that to me like the first time that I go to someone's apartment and they serve me like huge rack of lamb. I'd be like, what are you doing? Like it's too weird, it's too much. You wanna serve something that is fun and it feels casual, something that maybe like the other person can kind of help you with a little bit. You can maybe intentionally leave a couple of tasks like before they arrive so that you can take a peek and how they chop their onions, if you catch my drift. So I gotta level with you, this recipe I wrote like maybe 1.5 years ago. I went back to read the recipe that I myself wrote and strongly disagreed with everything. I think this happens a lot in recipe development, that you are in a recipe and you have a certain perspective and you have certain key flavors that you don't want to miss out on, and you start developing, unbeknownst to you, this sort of tunnel vision. And then when you have an opportunity to sort of come back to the recipe, maybe like 6 months or a year or 1.5 years later, you're kind of shocked and being like, why did I write it this way? Why did I include so many ingredients? But I read it and I was like, I don't feel like making this. And if I don't feel like making something that I wrote, then no one's gonna want it, like, it's over. So we are revisiting the shrimp tacos. We are simplifying the shrimp tacos. Taco night should be seasonally agnostic. You can of course serve shrimp tacos on a beautiful summer day at the beach. That would feel incredibly luxurious and cool, but I've had shrimp taco night on the dead of winter, and it always sparks joy and makes me feel like warm and comfortable, and honestly, in the dead of winter, we'll take what we can get. So the first component of these tacos is to make the salsa. Just putting it out there, salsa in Spanish just means sauce. We have a very different concept than the American concept of like salsa. So the salsa that I am going to make today is a roasted chili and pineapple olive oil salsa. You might not find, the habaneros and the scotch bonnets that I'm gonna use. You might not find fresh pineapple. What I want you to do is to be able to find a fresh chile. I want you to broil it. So I want you to like borderline burn it in the oven, mixing in a combination of olive oil and acid. And then I'm going to finish the entire thing with tropical fruit. If you don't have pineapple, you could use peaches, you could use mango, you can use kiwi. So first thing that I'm gonna do is that I'm going to broil my chiles. These are scotch bonnets and habaneros. They are very, very, very strong. There was a lot of confusion on what is the difference between a scotch bonnet and an habanero. They look almost exactly the same. They have like this very like shrivelly kind of shape. Scotch bonnets have these like shriveled up points, like they are kind of shriveling inside. And then habaneros, they are pointy, they are pointing down. If you don't want to use habaneros because you're sensitive to heat, you're terrified, you're saying, what the hell is this man thinking? You can use a jalapeno. This is cayenne. I've actually never tried cayenne. I'm gonna try it. Oh, it's giving bell pepper energy. It's not for me, not spicy at all. So, if you're sensitive to spice, I'm gonna make a lot of salsa because, making these kinds of salsas is a bit of a pain in the ass, and if I'm gonna make them, I wanna batch make them and I wanna have salsa for the week. Also, I have a lot of Latino friends, and giving them a little jar of salsa as a gift, it's a pretty great gift. So I have a small sheet tray here. I want a red one. They're so beautiful, look at that. They're deadly. So turning on my broiler, I'm gonna put my timer for 4 minutes. And then afterwards, I'm gonna put another timer every 2 minutes, and I'm just gonna start turning them. I'm gonna char them. Like, it's gonna, my smoke detector is probably gonna go wild. So while my chiles are broiling, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to start prepping my pineapple. Is there anything more beautiful than pineapple? Who designed this? It belongs in a gay club. And if you're extra like me, you'll have this as a centerpiece for your tacos. I think it looks cool. And now I'm just gonna use my knife to sort of scrape the outside. I'm just gonna slice all my pineapple. It's insane how nostalgic pineapple gets me. Like it really reminds me of like being a kid with my family at the beach and having pineapple for breakfast. Nothing in this world tastes like pineapple. Like, you know it's there, right? Like, pineapple is an Aries. It's your Aries friend. You're never like, oh, is this person already at the park? No, you know, like you can hear them from the other room. And we love them for that. I would like to introduce to you my charred chiles. They are burnt. Okay guys, so what's gonna happen here now is that I am going to pit all my chiles. I'm gonna remove the little stem, and I'm going to start pounding them here in my molcajete. Again, you can use a processor if you prefer. The only thing that I would recommend to you is to not liquefy everything using a blender. Traditional Mexican salsas are usually done in a molcajete like this. They are very rustic and there is supposed to be texture. So what's gonna happen here is that I am going to cut the stems of my cilantro, just the stems, not the leaves, and I'm going to add them to my molcajete alongside with my chiles, and I'm going to start smushing everything together with a little bit of salt. So once I get the desired consistency, I'm gonna start adding slowly and gradually my olive oil, and then I'm gonna start adding my vinegar, and then lastly, I'm going to add my chunks of pineapple. So this isn't an exact science. You need to be tasting it constantly. If you are afraid of the chiles, start with just half of a chile. A bit more salt. It needs more salt than you think, just because like the salt, believe it or not, cuts through the heat, and so does acidity. There's something very clean about the acidity of white distilled vinegar. Now I'm adding a little bit of honey. Being incredibly rustic here, like I said, some of the pineapple is gonna crush and release all of its beautiful sugar and juices, but some is gonna stay whole. Wow, so delicious. I'm adding more. 2 handfuls. Taste it for seasoning. It's delicious. I would sell this, honestly. This is so good. I don't think anyone in Montreal would be interested in buying this, but you know. I'm gonna keep snacking on pineapple because nothing makes me happier. And now that we have our salsa, what we can do is we can start actually working on the filling of our tacos. So the main component of the tacos are chorizo and shrimp. So this is Spanish style chorizo. It's cured. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start cooking it in olive oil. And once it has let go of all of its fat, I'm going to cook my shrimp in that fat. So shrimp and chorizo, or shrimp and any pork product for that matter, are delicious. They go wonderfully together. I'm gonna add my chorizo to my pan. I'll get this pan started with a little bit of olive oil, just to coat. Adding my chorizo, making sure that each piece is making contact with the pan, and bringing this up to temperature in low heat. While my chorizo is coming up to temperature, I have fished out my shrimp from the fridge. These are shell on Pacific white shrimp. They have been deveined. I don't really care about them being deveined, if I'm perfectly honest. I do recommend to you getting them shell on, just because the shell, in the process of like either transportation or freezing or however it is that you got your shrimp, them having their shell on means that they were protected this entire time. And what I'm gonna do is now I am going to start peeling them. I am not gonna cook them with the shell on, and I am going to do something that probably other cooks have told you never to do, which is to cook them without the shell, sear my shrimp on one side very, very aggressively so that I develop color, so that I develop a char, and then I'm going to flip them, kiss them on the other side, and that's it. I'm gonna retire them from the heat. The way I do it, by the way, is that I peel off the sides of the shell, and then the tail from the bottom part, I'll press on it, and that will encourage the shrimp to kind of come off. I actually really like this part. It allows me to peel my shrimp and be alone with my thoughts. That's something that the kitchen provides that people sometimes forget. Silence. Okay, I'm saving my shrimp shells because I love making stock. With these, you can fry them and then add water and salt and herbs, and it becomes the most delicious stock that you can make like soup or anything with. It's delicious. Now that my shrimp is nice and peeled, I am going to season with salt all around. Because shrimp is such a small protein, it doesn't need that much of a heads up time for seasoning. Salt is going to penetrate quite quickly. And a little bit of black pepper. And guess what? While we peeled our shrimp and seasoned it, I can tell you how delicious my apartment smells right now with the chorizo cooking. And look at all of that gorgeous amount of fat. So using a slotted spoon, I'm going to collect my chorizo and making sure that I leave as much of the fat in the pan as possible. Setting my chorizo aside. And then what I'm gonna do is that I'm going to turn up the heat from my pan with that chorizo fat. I'm gonna get it nice and hot, and then I'm going to add my shrimp to that pan, making sure that all of them have direct contact with the pan. And then after maybe 30 to 40 seconds, I am flipping them, keeping them there for maybe 10 seconds, and then taking them off the heat. This is an incredibly, incredibly quick cooking time. Okay, we did it. We got through it. I have my beautiful shrimp. They have color. They have all of that goodiness from the chorizo fat, but they're not overcooked. Like if I taste one, and I will, they're still perfectly cooked in the center. They're not rubbery. They're not tough. And I have here some corn tortillas. These are the ones that I bought in the store. I'm not gonna make my own tortillas today. I think that there is a time and a place for that, and I definitely want to teach you how to make them. But today, we're going easy. We're just using store-bought. If you're serving a crowd, sort of family style or whatever, you want people to serve themselves, you want to just give them like a bunch of tortillas so that they can start grabbing them. So what I'm gonna do is, using my leftover fat, I'm going to paint my tortillas with a little bit of that fat, just to flavor them, to give them a head start. And these are gonna go in the oven. Usually tortillas will be done in a stovetop, but then, you know, if you're serving many tacos and you're on the stovetop all night, heating tortillas and heating tortillas and heating tortillas, just put them in the oven with a little bit of fat, and then you just don't have to do anything. Okay, and the final step here, I like to make a creamy base for the tortillas because I don't really have like a squeeze bottle or anything like that, and I don't like doing awkward dollops of like crema on top of the thing. I don't like it. So what I do usually, and because I don't have crema, is that I will do a combination of Greek yogurt, so about, I don't know, half a cup. I'm adding some olive oil, so what this is gonna do is it's gonna enrich the yogurt. It's gonna tame down its tanginess as well, and it makes for a nice, soft, creamy landing for all of our filling. It's really, really delicious. I do this for most of my tacos, actually. Okay, guys, everything is ready. My tortillas are about to come out of the oven. Let's plate, let's eat, let's start our taco night. Don't touch your tortillas with your hands. I can do that, but don't do it. Unless you can, you know? It's one of those, if you know, you know. But yeah, what I'll do is that usually I'll keep them warm. I'm gonna start with just a couple of tortillas, and I'm gonna lay down my creamy base. Then I'm going to add a combination of my shrimp and my chorizo, Then I am going to top everything with my salsa. And then at the end, I am finishing everything with some fresh leaves of cilantro. Oh my God, you guys, this is my dream come true. Let's take a bite. You know, usually you would do a little lime on top, but because our salsa has so much vinegar, I really don't think it's necessary. The combination of shrimp and chorizo is fantastic, and the way that the salsa mixes in with the yogurt is really, really magical. And I do love serving with like tiny pieces of pineapple, fresh pineapple that hasn't been touched by the sauce. Brings everything to life. It's amazing. Anyway, guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. As always, I really hope that I inspired you to have shrimp taco night. I hope that I taught you that shrimp and chorizo match made in heaven. I hope that I taught you how to char your chiles and mix them in with a beautiful combination of oil and acid and a tropical fruit. Use a fresh fruit, use frozen fruit. It doesn't matter. It's gonna be delicious anyway. It's gonna be fun, it's gonna be tropical, and that's what taco night should be. It should spark joy. It should make people laugh. It should combine unexpected flavors. That's what we're here for. I hope that you interact with the video if you liked it. New videos are gonna come out every week. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao. I'm gonna keep eating.